Hello and welcome back to Tarot and Tea. I knew this was a favorite and I was just waiting for the right person to replace our dear Kate. We love Kate. She's fabulous. And now I'm going to introduce you to someone that I actually am so in love with and I've been working with one-on-one personally for over a year. We met for the first time this year at my retreat. She came, she helped facilitate it, she lit us on fire. And this girl's a well of wisdom. We're starting this on Virgo season because she is a Virgo. Can't wait for you guys to get her medicine. We are both kings in cardology, and us together, I mean, it is big. So get prepared, buckle up. Ellie Pierpoint with Salt of Venus on Instagram. Welcome and thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. This was like such an aligned thing. Like I was telling you that like I kept having little kind of like signs from the universe. People would ask me for a tarot reading and I hadn't done a tarot reading in a long time. There was something that I started doing years ago and then kind of moved into astrology and like other things. And just recently it was like, oh, okay, tarot is like calling again. And then when you were like, hey, do you want to maybe do a tarot reading? I was like, bing, 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 bing. Okay, Spirit wants me to read tarot. So yeah, I feel like this is very aligned.
So aligned. And so Ellie's a Venusian astrologist, and a lot of you guys are like, what is that? I'm going to let her tell you. But the reason I was drawn to her was through the aesthetics of her Instagram. And I mean, she just has the most beautiful page. She's beautiful. And I just knew I had that sacral authority of like her. And she references when I first reached out to her. I don't really remember this so clearly, but she said, do you like have any offers? Because I know I have to pay to play. Like so king of me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sliding in your DMs without offering to pay you. Okay.
No, I love it. No, you've always been like that Mars and Mercury, like direct, but then you've got this Cancer where you're like so soft and lovely as well. And I really like that combo in a person, you know?
Well, thank you. So tell me how you describe a Venusian astrologist.
So the cycle of Venus is quite esoteric. She does like a really beautiful pattern in the sky that is a rose or a pentagram, depending on who says it. And throughout history, there have been like priestesses of Venus, of the goddess, and they traced this beautiful rose pattern in the sky and used this to kind of tap into what you would call spirit and what I would call goddess. I think that we're always talking about the same thing, right? Like when you get a little sign from the universe, for me, I'm like, oh, goddess is speaking to me. And so when I started tapping into the cycles of Venus, it helped me with all of the things that Venus is known for, like self-worth, like aesthetics, like beauty, like play, like pleasure, like receiving. But it had to be like an inside job. Like the aesthetics are all based on my astrology. Otherwise, I don't think it would be like a fit. So there's something with Venus around being your most unique self, being in your feminine, which means to be receptive, to be, if you don't like the term feminine, to be in your yin energy, where you're like able to slow down, able to experience pleasure, able to kind of connect to the unseen realms, just as you do. And yeah, the more that I connected with her, the more that I kind of attuned, I guess, to the energy of Venus. And then more people were coming, and actually it wasn't really a choice. Like people were just coming and coming and coming, and like, oh, that's really interesting. They've got something in their chart around Venus. And then more I would talk about it, and then I would talk about like goddesses, they would be like, oh, that goddess has already been coming to me. I've been seeing her name come up, or I've been seeing, and it's like a process of it's very intuitive, but it's like a process of remembering. And the more that I see people remembering, the more that I'm like, oh, Venus is like activating back on Earth, like the goddess is like back on Earth, and we're leaning more into these things that are actually very important and have been like pushed out in favor of like the kind of more left brain stuff like logic and productivity and hustle and like structure and being a boss babe and like all of this stuff that is actually exhausting and it's hard to live in that. And so when you lean into like the Venus side of things, it's like, oh, I can slow down. Oh, I'm worthy of receiving. Oh, I can actually receive a compliment now, I can dress up and play enjoy life. So yeah, Venus is all to do with that, and I see it more and more like sparking across the collective. So like there's definitely something happening.
I agree. You gave me so much permission. And, we're going to tell you guys a lot about our astrology, just so you understand us. And because, we are different, we're going to speak different. But when I first started working with Ellie, my Venus is in Leo and it's in the first house. So the first house is like it's out there. I mean, I say beauty is medicinal, and she gave me confirmation. It's like it absolutely is, but also you are medicinal. Like, bitch, get
Yeah.
yourself out there. And I'm like, oh no, like I was like hiding in like Cancer in the 12th house or my moon in the 8th house, and I
Yeah.
have these aspects, but there was this big part of me that she had to kind of continue to kick me out the door on,
Mm.
"I want to see you. People need to see you." And
Mm.
there's this, push and pull that I have of like, I don't want to do another photo shoot. And then all of a sudden I wake up and I'm like, oh, great day to do a photo shoot. It's just like, who am I? But the
Yeah.
relationship I have with my Venus now, because of what you taught me, is just so much, I have so much more compassion for her,
Mm.
for that energy.
And yeah, absolutely. And I think what you just said kind of takes the Venus mysteries a little bit further, because actually Venus is retrograde a lot of the time and she goes underneath the horizon. And so this is like the concept of descending into our shadows, right? And so for you, you've got this 12th house where that is kind of shadowy, there's like the subconscious, and it's the place you kind of go to hide and unravel, and and then there's this beautiful Venus in the first house, which is like the rise after, once you go into your subconscious and you face whatever fears you have around being seen, or, whatever blocks might be hiding you from being out there, being as big and sparkly as you are with your Venus in Leo. And so then the more work you do on that, which I think is such a benefit of Venus, is that the more work we do in the kind of shadows, in the subconscious realm, the more we get to rise, the more we get to be sparkly, the more we get to be playful, and have more pleasure in our life, and dress the way that we want to dress and express ourselves the way that we want to express ourselves, because we did that work, that like inner dark, sometimes really fucking gnarly and hard work, that it all provides that ability to rise afterwards, which is
Yeah.
like you are kind of encompassing that like in your chart.
Yeah. Yes. Gosh. And you do some beautiful classes. I don't know if they're recorded to buy, but the ones that you take us through the retrogrades, with journal
Yeah.
prompts and the stories of, is it Anana?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you guys, I mean, really, if this is kind of sparking you off, please go check out
Mm.
Ellie. She has beautiful offers, so fabulous to work with. But let's dive in.
Mm.
So the way that I sort of envision this, well, first of all, Ellie's in Thailand. So Ellie is beautiful and has red lipstick and all fashionable right now. And I'm in my robe and I'm not having tea. I'm having coffee because it is very, very early here. So we are always going to be in very different time zones. But the thought of this is like we're coming together, and it's almost like two best girlfriends having tea, having coffee, having champagne, whatever we are going to be drinking on that day, and talking about the upcoming season and how we're going to lead ourselves, and then leaning into our channels and leaning into spirit to say, hey, can you drop me a few breadcrumbs and help to guide me? Because I know every season has an overall influence, and that
Mm.
influence is going to be the astrological placements. But we, with our own, you know, modalities that we lean on, are going to bring you a little bit more information to hopefully help support you. I usually am, prone to give some journal prompts or exercises. Ellie loves rituals. So we'll just kind of see what comes through. And before we even started, we both drew one card and just kind of feeling into the energy. And we're recording this in the middle of August. And so I know in the energy that we're in right now, I think we're still in recovery from last week with, the full moon in Aquarius and all the shit that was going on. And then even like Mars was doing something yesterday, and we've just been going through it. So as we start to feel into Virgo season, hopefully we get a little bit of, I don't know, pockets of relief. But the first card I drew, and Ellie's the tarot master, so I'm doing my best to learn tarot. But the first card I drew was the Maiden of Pentacles, which you said is also known as the Page of Pentacles.
I would assume so, yeah. I'm not as familiar with that deck, but yeah, I would assume that the maiden is page.
What is that?
The Page of Pentacles is the first one of the suit of Pentacles. You'd have the Page, and then the Knight, and then the Queen, and then the King. And he represents like new energy, kind of like a young person would bring to the realm of Earth, which is Pentacles. So usually it can represent a person. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's kind of like the initiation of something earthy. So can be like starting a new project, a new habit, a new thing in your house, something that is like solid, but it's not quite there yet. It's like at the beginning of something.
Okay, awesome. I won't always draw tarot because obviously it's a different coming from me because I'm like, oh, I'm learning, but I definitely associated pentacles with being material, potentially material abundance. And when I saw the maiden or the page, it felt like something like allow the world to support you, allow the universe to support you. Something is coming. It's gonna be okay. Like it gave me a little bit of a feeling of hope.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I sometimes think of the pages as like a beginner mindset, which even though it sounds like something that we don't actually want to be in, right? Like a lot of us, we're like, I'm not a beginner. I don't want to be in a beginner mindset. But like there's so much possibility that happens when we're in the beginner mindset. It's like kind of in a state of receiving. Like if you can say like, oh yeah, I'm not there yet. Like I'm not complete. I'm not like satisfied. I'm like open to newness. I
Mhm.
think that that can be a really abundant state.
Amazing. All right, so maybe we just do just a real, like, if you want to take us on a real quick recap of what Leo season just is and represents, and then when Virgo season starts, and then
Mm.
may the cards speak to us.
Okay. So yeah, we just had Leo season, and in this particular Leo season, we had Mercury retrograde also in Leo, so that kind of added some vibes to the mix. And that was about self-expression. So there was probably a lot of internal stuff that was going on for everybody around how you express yourself, how you want to be seen, how you feel about being seen. Sometimes we want to be seen, and other times we're like, don't look at me. And so a lot of confidence comes with Leo. And there was also at the beginning of August, Venus was square Saturn, and that was hard. Like I did not enjoy that one. That was difficult. That was like exhaustion. Like there was like a very heavy energy. Like, and Leo's normally quite playful and light, but I feel like this one, not that it wasn't, because it was still that, but it was also like, okay, I can't be as playful and light as I usually am because I am bone tired and I'm also like processing a lot of stuff through Mercury retrograde because that creates like quite an introverted kind of state where we're like kind of digging around and figuring out, what needs to be resorted, what needs to be like reviewed, what we need to like acknowledge in ourselves. So, yeah, I do feel like Leo season will always be Leo season and it's ruled by the sun. So there's always going to be this like sense of like, I just like go out and play and be silly and be like the divine child archetype and, like ride a unicorn into the sunset. Like, but but it was not straight up that, right? I'm sure that you can also agree that it was
Yeah,
not smooth sailing.
I'm fucking tired. But we're moving on. I mean, we're getting through this year. It is a 9 year. I think we have to remember it's a 9 year. It's a snake year. So I just think we're
Mm.
shedding a lot and we're wrapping up a lot and we're closing a lot. And with Saturn retrograde as well, I just think that this is a year of reflection and lessons and deepening
Mm.
and getting our shit together and cutting cords and letting go. And there will be great days, but I just don't I haven't really experienced great seasons this year. It's like they come and it might be a weekend, it might be just a pocket of sunshine, but then it's like, oh, back to work.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like because we had Venus retrograde this year, like I always feel like the year that Venus retrograde happens in tends to be quite like disintegration based, where there's like so much like getting thrown out, so much releasing. And I've been feeling, I know that obviously Venus retrograde finished months ago, but I feel like there was almost like a reassembling that happened, like since kind of early summer where it was like, okay, like this timeline is shifting now. Like I'm not this person anymore. been through the underworld. Now I'm on the other side. Like, who am I being? I don't know yet. I'm kind of like reassembling. Like, it's a little bit Frankenstein's monster, actually. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just fucking mash that there and okay, yeah, I'm a person. Let's go.
Yeah, that's I resonate. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Well, may we tap into your birthday energy, Virgo energy. Ellie is a
Mm.
Virgo sun, a rising Leo. We're both rising Leos, and then she's got a Capricorn moon.
Yeah. And I'm a snake in Chinese astrology.
Are you?
Yeah. It's my year.
Is your Venus in Libra?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. And conjunct Black Moon Lilith, which
of
has
course it is. Oh my gosh. That
has its
explains your
pros and cons.
your Cali tattoo. That is
Yeah.
like so. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not just a Venus in Libra fluffy bunny one.
Gosh, we were doing a ritual at the retreat, and we were all, this was intense. So we were all out on this. It was a pickleball court because it was concrete, and I drew this big lotus flower and had all these tea candles and all these rose petals, and I made it very Venusian, very
That's
beautiful. And Ellie
epic.
and I sat in the middle, and we led, or she led, everyone through a candle burning ceremony, and there was a time where we were like telling our partner stuff and it was like whispering. It was like, and we looked at each other and it was so primal and it was so, I've never experienced anything like it. Like still today, the women are like, that was crazy. Like we were like, witches doing our little spells and our magic in the nature and hearing the birds and the crickets. And oh, it was so lovely. But then you're like, okay, now we're going to release it, and you started doing these like screamings, and I'm in this like 1950s tea dress and I'm looking at her like I'm like like I'm like barely screaming and she's like
Like,
let it out, she's like sticking her tongue out, like just this roar is coming out of her, and I'm like I'm gonna try, but I do not know if I can make those sounds yet. And I just saw the photographers running, like they're just like, and we're out. Like this is getting intense, but that is definitely some Black Moon Lilith Venus.
oh, it was so funny because I was like bringing them up, like, okay, and breathe out, ha, and breathe out, like build it up.
I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, that means I need it. I mean, we know I need it, but I was just like, "Ugh, I'm scared. I'm scared of my own primal sound."
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up now.
It's interesting though that you're talking about like primal energies because we've got the eclipses starting in Virgo season. Eclipse season, which I feel is always very primal. Maybe I don't know, maybe more for me. But it's this kind of sense of like the sun or the moon, whether it's like a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse, is dark. So like our conscious mind or our subconscious mind kind of goes dark, and so many countries around the world believe this to be like, oh, don't go outside. Like they see it as like a quite scary thing. But I do feel like we find the primal scary, right? Like we when we like scream, sometimes we can frighten ourselves. And so when we have eclipses, there's usually like something that surfaces or something that shifts or something that is transformed in a way, and it can be, yeah, it can be like abrupt, but it's always something that's very beneficial. It's always something that like comes through that was needed. And because it's Virgo Pisces, I love Virgo Pisces. It's like one of my favorite axes. That was the nerdiest, super nerdy. One of my favorite axes in astrology is Virgo Pisces, because it's like very much like the mundane and the magical. So
Mhm.
like how do we bridge both of them? And I feel like both me and you do that really well. We bring like a lot of like extra kind of out there stuff. Like we're all up in the unseen, and then we're also like two kings that are like, okay, yeah, but where's the structure? Okay, yeah, but like
Like there's
we're
practical, like we gotta
yeah,
freaking be responsible here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very Virgo Pisces. So the eclipses I feel like are going to be times where the mundane and the magical wants to merge in some way.
Yeah. All right, let's see what the tarot says. And then also, like, as a reminder, not only are the eclipses coming up, but we do have that north node and south node in, that Pisces Virgo axis. So it's like we are being called to step more into the Pisces energy, and we're getting rid of the Virgo energy that is not supporting us. And so in this Virgo season, there might be some intensity because we might be releasing more than we would do in a year that the south node isn't in Virgo. Perhaps.
Perhaps. It will be seen. Right. And we've also got Saturn. Saturn is retrograde, like you said, and is moving back into Pisces as well. So it's got a kind of last little stint in Pisces, which the Saturn in Pisces for me was about like building structure in soup. Like how do you like explore the unexplorable? How do you like figure out how to give yourself boundaries? How to Are you still there?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
frozen. Oh,
Here.
yeah, you froze.
Well,
You were like suddenly like you were going to leave.
because I
Um,
probably broke the internet as I do when I just freaked out because I realized that that means Saturn in retrograde is going to hit my moon at 29 degrees. I'm like, great, let's just book a couple sessions on that time zone, or not time zone, time period.
yeah,
Oh,
we'll talk about that. Saturn. Okay, I got some cards. Interestingly, we got a lot of swords come up. So the first card that I pulled, I was like, oh, tarot, come on now, give them a nicer card than this. And I want to just say that this is not predictive, right? This is more like how do we use these energies for our benefit? I am always an optimist, even when I go into into the primal scream. So we got the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is about worry, and worry is a very Virgoan thing. Worry that maybe things aren't quite the way that we want them to be. And so as a Virgo, I know that I can be an overthinker. Anyone else that has Virgo placements is probably like, uh-huh, yep, yep, yep. And it's because the Virgo is always trying to be kind of like strategic and make things work. So Virgo in astrology is mutable earth, which means that it's changeable earth, it's flexible earth, it's like always improving earth. And so if you have that in your mind, like, oh, I need to sort out my house, I need to, clear out the garage, I need to get my business kind of like organized, my systems, I maybe there's a habit that I need to shift. Like this card is basically saying that actually a lot of the time, and especially in Virgo season, things are worse than what you think they are. Like, actually, the truth of the matter is that actually you've kind of got a foundation, you've got some control over things, you have got things in order in some way. It might be a little bit of a hot mess kind of situation, but there is some hotness to it. It's not just mess, right? And so the Nine of Swords it's about this overthinking energy and what happens when we worry too much, but it also represents that when we worry, the worry takes on a life of its own, and then it becomes like the new reality, and then it becomes kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're like, oh, I'm living in chaos, but like actually you're not. It's just that, you know. So I think that there's a reminder here to tell yourself that you do have it under control, that you are organized enough, and that you don't need to be hard on yourself because Virgo can be very hard on itself. Like if it's always improving, that mutable earth energy of refinement, like I want to be better, 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 like that's really beautiful, and it's really, admirable to want to keep improving yourself. But at a certain point it's like, when am I enough? Like, is this at what point can I just kind of like rest and say, this is enough, like I've done enough for today. And I also have a Capricorn moon, so that is like a lifetime's work. Have I done enough? Like, a lot of the time doesn't feel that way, but then when I look back at how much I'm done, I'm like, girl, like just sit down, stop doing. So
every
yeah, but
Capricorn moon I go know is like anti-naps. Like they do not know how to nap.
oh, I hate naps. They make me feel worse. Like I wake up from a nap and I'm like, I hate everybody. Why do I have a headache? Absolutely not. No.
Those are
So funny. Yeah. I love a Capricorn moon. We're like so kind of down to earth to the point where it's like, yeah, yeah, I'm down here. It's all good.
Very true.
But there can be too much earth. And as somebody with their sun and their moon in earth, there can be too much earth. There can be too much needing to have certainty, like needing to have control, needing to feel like all your ducks are in a row before you actually act or before you actually do something. Needing to feel like, oh, I have to be at a certain point in my life before I meet someone, or before I take my relationship to the next level, or before I launch my business, or before I, launch that offer or that project or whatever it is, right? Like there's a kind of limiting belief that more needs to be done before you can have what you actually want, which is kind of wild when you think about it. It's like, well, why aren't we just doing what we want already?
Mhm.
You know? Why do I
That's
feel like I have to be there before I can, you know, take a nap?
yeah. I just have this visual of like Earth, there's like the ground and there's a map. And it's like when you're trying to get somewhere, there's a map, and you're like, okay, I go left at this block, and then I drive 5 more blocks, and then I take a right, and then I go straight. And it's like there's this system that you see. And with me being so much water, it's like you just move. Like you move
Mm.
when you get the response to move. There's no map, there's no blocks, there's no left or right, there's just progression.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so that's somebody also that has very little earth.
I was gonna say that's like very not relatable to me. I'm like, yeah, nah.
Just the pivot. I feel this pivot. I feel this
Uh,
pivot.
I'm like mostly earth and air, so I'm all about the strategy. Like, in fact, I'll spend more time on the strategy than I will the actual doing of the thing.
Oh my gosh. I'm water and fire. We're such a beautiful combo.
I know. Love that. Balance. So, talking of balance, the other two cards that I pulled were two queens, which is really interesting because we said that in cardology we're both kings. And so here we got two queens coming out, and we've got one of each. We've got one water and one air. So, water in tarot and in astrology is feminine, and air is masculine, yin and yang, if you want to call them that. And so, what this is kind of saying is that there needs to be like a balance between head and heart. Like if you are a strategy person, then Virgo season might be more about dropping into the heart space, dropping into like, okay, well, what do I want to receive? Or like what kind of compassion and forgiveness do I need to have for myself? Maybe some of the beliefs that I have, or maybe some of the ideas that I'm having about myself or the world are not quite kind, are not quite and Virgo can be a perfectionist, can be a bit of a nitpicker, amongst many, many wonderful things, of course. It's actually these things that give Virgo the skills in order to be able to heal, right? Because if you can't spot what problems there are, then you can't heal them. And Virgo is also the medicine woman, the wise woman, who sees what needs to be fixed and then does it, attends to it. And so that's a really beautiful thing, but it can go too much, right? Like again, we lean into this like, well, what's wrong with me and what do I need to fix about me? And so to have air and water there is like if you are usually like quite a cerebral person that's very like overthinking and maybe even ruminating, that there is an opportunity, especially with the eclipses, to drop into like forgiveness, and to say again like, what do I actually feel, not what do I think. And then if you're the other way around, it might be like, okay, well, how does kind of coming into the head feel sometimes? Like to give water some like direction. What does that feel like, Or how could you do that in a way that is playful? Because air is very playful. Like I don't know if you're like me, where like when the wind blows, I'm like, oh, you stop. Like,
No, I'm not like that.
no. Oh, just me then.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Like it's flirting with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and actually it plays back. Like you try it next time. Like when a little bit picks up, if you're like you, like it comes more, It's like
I feel like that with like animals and insects, like
yeah,
butterflies and like and cats will always find me no matter where I go. And so I definitely
yeah.
feel that more with the animal world, the animal kingdom.
Maybe that's your Virgo season activity as a water person to flirt with the wind. Yeah, like
Maybe. Oh my
that's
goodness.
that's your homework for Virgo season. Go flirt with the wind.
I love it. Oh,
But
okay. So,
mm,
do you have any? Oh, were you gonna say something?
I was going to say just to kind of like give that a little bit more of a tangible for people that are like I don't know what the fuck that means. Um, to play a little bit, to like to have strategy and direction and to want to organize and be better, but to kind of like make it a little bit more playful and light. I
Mhm.
think that is going to be very helpful for people who are maybe more watery in Virgo season.
Yeah. It's so this is I'm gonna just put this out there. So I've taken astrology classes. I've asked one of my teachers, like, how do you know when you're an astrologist? Like what is the actual certification? And it just varies from what everyone says, but I definitely am. I use astrology to open up doors, and then I am a channel around astrology. And so what comes through, I'm just going to allow Ellie to correct me if I say anything that is wrong,
Oh.
or I just want you to say, like, well, actually, because I think sometimes I have like this doubt. But for me in Virgo season, like I already started saying it at the beginning, but I because it's eclipse season and because the south node and north node are in play, that feels very dominant in my like experience of what I'm feeling it. And then when I think of Virgo, I think of it. Virgo's confusing to me, and I don't know if it's because I have a Virgo father and my first son's a Virgo, but like there it is. It's confusing because Virgo is known as being the virgin and being feminine and being the healer, but then it has these traits that are really masculine, like perfectionism, control, like being really clean and like having this order, and those to me are more masculine traits. And so it's like I'm always kind of confused on Virgo energy and then how vastly different it shows up in different signs. And so like Leo, sun, rising, and moon, to me it has similar flavor. It's like, okay, like I can feel the Leo, I can see the Leo, I understand the Leo.
Mhm.
Virgo and sun, rising, moon, very different. It's just it shows up so differently. And so when
Mhm.
I think of Virgo season, I think that it's almost like it puts me into observation. Like the way I am observing Virgo is Virgo.
Mhm.
And so
Right. Well, observing is a very Virgo word.
yes. So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean for me? Like in this season, if I'm already having this response of I'm gonna just take a back seat and kind of
Mhm.
witness. And then the card out of Rebecca Campbell's deck, the Ancient Stones, which Earth Stone, that I pulled for the season was the Cave, retreat, time out, self care, and slow down. And so when I pull a card like that, I'm like, how many times do we have to retreat this year? I mean, I host retreats, so please like come to my retreat if you're getting the same message. But I also am like,
But like how much time in the cave space do we spend?
exactly, yes. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my
yeah,
gosh,
I
we're
feel
going
that.
back to sleep again. Like, can we wait till winter? Like, can we have a
Mm,
fall? Can we play in the fall? But when I get a card like that, it makes me think like it's we this year, like I said, like this year is just a lot of work. So we can move into next year more clean, more clear, more uh authentic. And
mhm,
so I'll draw a few cards from Oracle, and I do Oracle. Well, I think I used to do Oracle because I think I was like a lot of people and I had fear around tarot, like the
mhm,
death card, the tarot card, and there's cards that just have this intensity, and
mhm.
probably my Pisces moon or even the Cancer in the 12th house just wanted, a positive message. Like I didn't
Yeah,
need people to double down that life's a shit show sometimes. Like I know I'm tarot, I know I'm death. Like,
yeah. Well,
it's so
tarot can be a bitch too. Like sometimes my tarot deck has been like, you know what your problem is. Stop asking. And I'm like, like it's very direct.
there's an
Like,
intensity. I think I'm ready now, though. I think like well, and then of course though I bought the Goddess of Love tarot, so it's like I'm kind of ready. Like I'm tiptoeing into the direction of being ready to let tarot be in my world. But Oracle is just kind of dreamy. It's positive. It's let me lean into it and see how I can better myself, have more relationship with Venus, have more relationship with spirit, be playful, believe in magic. And then I have a relationship with the Sacred Forest deck, which is the deck I mostly, I don't know why it's not zooming. It's just not clear when I'm showing right now. But um the Sacred Forest deck is, I've built a relationship with this deck. So I don't read after it. I see the card and I know. My channel
Yeah.
opens. It's very familiar with this deck, and this is what I'm going to draw today. So as we go into Virgo season, knowing eclipse season is going to probably bring up some stuff. The first card we get is the Phoenix transmutation. Shit.
Again.
So we are transmuting something. We are, the Leo season has probably helped us alchemize fire. And now it's time to let it go, let it burn, and trust that everything that we're shedding, snake year, everything that we're shedding is truly no longer serving us. Like
Mm.
it's just not. And so when we think about what roles we're playing, what identities we're carrying, they have to go for us to be more authentic in this world. My whole body of work, Ellie's whole body of work is about getting more into your truth frequency, your heart energy, your Venus energy. It's about authentic expression, charisma, and being honest. And so when
Mm.
we have Phoenix moments and when we have anything that is going to assist us in what to burn away, and I mentioned the North Node and the South Node. The South Node is like we're moving away from it. And so we're moving away from it not because it's bad, but we are going to extract what we want to carry forward and let everything else fall away. Virgo is what we're walking away from in this year and a half long transit that we're almost in the middle of, I believe. And then Pisces is what we're moving towards. That's where the
Mm.
North Node is. And that is, to me, soul. It's body and soul. Virgo's body, Pisces is soul. And so we are being called to welcome more of our soul energy in, welcome more of our soul senses forward. That cannot be done unless we burn away some of the body survival adaptations that we've learned to survive in society, in our
Mm.
family, um, to fit in, to be liked. It has to be let go of. And so that explains why I would draw the cave, because if you do that publicly, well, you might go viral. Maybe you want that. But it's something that is not pretty. We're not showing our best self right away when we're on fire. So the next card, which I absolutely love and I think kind of resonates with the pentacles that we both drew before the call started, is the bee spirit. And this bee spirit is all about
Mm.
prosperity. And so
It's also related to Virgo.
is it?
Mm.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. Yeah, like the beekeeper, the bee charmer.
Mm.
Oh, I have like tons of goosebumps. So when I get the bee spirit and the prosperity, it's not always prosperity in the way of like you're going to win the lottery. To me, it's what would make your soul, so moving towards Pisces energy, the most prosperous in this life.
Mm.
What would make your soul the most prosperous in this life? And body, Virgo, what do you need to do for the body to contain that trajectory? And so, what does the body need to be able to make the soul comfortable enough to be authentic and to receive from the universe to feel prosperous? And that is, I mean, it's going to take us a lifetime to learn that, because we have so much conditioning in our minds around what would make us feel prosperous. And everyone is going to be like, well, money is going to make life easier on me. But I think that we all know now that there is very, very peaceful, happy, prosperous people that are poor. And there's miserable, addicted, depressed people that are poor, and the contrary. There's always opposition no matter where we look. And so, where we are today, we are representing something, and then there is an opposition that is something that's completely opposite of us. And the only way that we expand in our life is being prosperous in this moment, and then having a conversation with our soul on what does our soul need more of from our attention, from how we take care of our body, to be more alive here. Like, let our soul be more alive here.
Yeah.
I'm kind of liking this. I'm kind of liking this.
Yeah.
And so as like this, I do 3 cards, and I want to say like, okay, what are we walking into? We're walking through Phoenix transmutation energy. Holy shit. Okay. Hunker down. And then
Yeah.
what is that going to
Buckle
give
up.
us? I know, like buckle up,
Again.
be cautious.
Just don't take your seatbelt off for a while, okay? Like
Yes. Yes. And be an observer. Like I'm observing Virgo. It's like Phoenix energy is going to feel like being blindsided. It's going to be like hit upside the head, or as Ellie has a story where she was actually hit upside with a bird that flew into her when she was driving her motorbike in Thailand. It's the funniest story. Can you hear my train? Holy moly, that is a very loud train. The train is going by,
Is that the
cleansing our
train?
yeah,
Mm.
very, very cleansing. Okay, so transmutation, and then I asked like, okay, what is this transmutation, bringing in for us? Beautiful prosperity, yay. Okay, it takes a village, or it takes, what do they call a bunch of bees? Not a village. It takes a lot of hard work
It
by a
takes
lot
a
of.
village of it takes a village of bees. What are people going to take from this reading? Go flirt with the wind. It takes a village of bees.
I know they're gonna be out in the wind, chilling around, get stung by a bee, and feel prosperous. Like, yes, it's medicine is inside of me.
Yeah.
And then we're going to bring it to a close and say, okay, at the end of Virgo season, this is what has been accomplished, anchored into. This is the work, and I love it because it is guardians of the land protection. And so, why I
That's
love
very
this card
Virgo.
so much is because, oh gosh, the amount of goosebumps I'm getting. The guardians of the land. So we're talking about an earth sign. We're talking about a feminine sign. And I'm saying if you allow all of the fears and the overthinking and any identity that is for a perceived protection to fade away and allow the universe to support you so you can be prosperous as a soul being having a human experience, you will be not only protected of yourself, but you will help protect the future, the land, because you are then authentic and you're bringing back your soul senses, your intuition, your inner knowing, your instincts, to not need a map, to not need to be told what to do, to not need approval, but to know I know what I need for me. I know how to be more authentic. I know how to be prosperous because I brought my truth frequency online.
Mm. That's really beautiful, and that actually is the archetype of the Virgin. Like the Virgin of Virgo is not about somebody that just hasn't had a partner. It's about a person who is whole in themselves and who trusts themselves and who trusts their intuition, and then because of that is untouched by anything else, untarnished by anything else. It's the purity in the sense of I am my guide, and Virgo also rules over things like animism. So like talking to the wind, talking to animals, like you said, like the guardian of the land, like that is your intuition. And so when you tap into that Virgo energy of being this kind of like wise woman who lives in a cottage in the in the woods, the hermit archetype, like that's what that means. It's like the trust that you have with yourself then allows you to communicate with the world around you in spirit.
This is so king language, but I'm like, what and who are you letting penetrate you? Like, be more of a virgin and say like, no, you don't get to penetrate me right now. Like, this is not, I am not penetratable. Like, I am sovereign in my own fucking energy, space, and body. Like, back the fuck up.
I love how this is such an example of like someone who has Mercury and Mars and somebody who has Mercury and Libra. What did I say? Like
I know.
I didn't even use the SEX
But
word. I was
you
like,
did.
if you haven't had a partner,
I know.
Mercury and Libra, diplomatic, very polite.
It's
And
very
you're like
polite.
with the Mars Mercury coming in, who are you letting penetrate you? Don't. Oh, I love it. I love you.
It's healthy, it's candy. It's like, why don't we just say it in a way that makes
Yeah.
people wake the fuck up? Like, this isn't about poetry. This is about waking the fuck up. But
Unless you've got Mercury and Libra, then
I
everything's
know
about
that
poetry.
exactly, exactly. Well, and what's funny is you've read my writing. Like I am a poet too. So when
Yeah,
I'm
you
in the
are.
comfort of
Yeah.
my own bed, I'm writing in this very like beautiful way. And it's like, oh, like woe is me. Like Disney princess moment on the couch crying, like pouring her heart out. But then when I'm in context like this, I'm like, people are listening and they want to, if you're listening to this, you
Mm.
want to change, you want to
Yeah.
heal, you want to grow, you want to evolve, you want to learn to say no, you want to learn to cut ties with people that are toxic. Like, why would you be listening to this if you didn't want these things? So here's how you're going to do it. It's like I get drill sergeant on them.
I love it. It's so good because you've got all of this lovely, beautiful Cancerian energy. So you're like, very lunar and like kind of, the divine mother kind of archetype, although you're not, remember that. It's like giving and loving and compassion, right? But then you're also like, and another thing.
I know. I know. And if you're not gonna do it, fuck off. Fuck right off. No, just kidding. I don't think that, you guys, but I just get exhausted. Like, I'm not the person that's gonna hear you tell the same story for the
Yeah,
next year.
yeah,
I won't. Couple
yeah.
times, yeah, because it's like, okay, like we're working on it. But if you were telling the same story in a year, we are no longer compatible.
Right, because you're calling people up to be the best version of themselves. And you have the compassion to realize that that might not be an immediate overnight thing, but like, I think like loving somebody or like, being truthful that is loving someone, right? Like, and if the truth is a little bit tough love at times, but it helps the person, you know, maybe we need some more of that.
Yeah. I have to ask you this because so in the UK, this word is very popular, especially in the realm of mediumship, compassion. So
Okay.
even when I went and trained with Gordon Smith, I was told multiple times, like, you have such compassion. I feel your
Mm.
compassion. And you, one, knowing me, working with me 101, but then also seeing how I lead a retreat, I think that
Mm.
you would probably agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if that always comes off in situations like this or in Instagram where I'm yelling at people. They're like, "Why are you yelling at me? I don't even know you." But I was in the kitchen the other day and this came through and it was just sort of a drop in download. And it was that when people are struggling, when people are in grief, when people are in pain, when people are struggling, there seems to be what I've gathered more so maybe in the UK, but maybe everywhere is like they need compassion. Compassion will heal them.
Yeah.
And I believe that, and this is the download, is it's we do not heal people by holding them in compassion. We heal by finding the blocks that prevent us from holding ourselves with compassion.
Mm.
And so it's this having this compassion for every aspect of ourselves as we move through the hardships of life, but realizing that if I hold you in compassion, I'm giving you comfort, not
Mm.
healing. Now, do I believe that there are some people that actually can heal through their presence and heal through their touch? I do, but I do believe that the people they heal are also contributing and holding themselves in that energy while that is
Mm.
taking place. They're not arriving with this block of, I will never hold myself in this energy, but I want you to do it. Those are
Mm.
the people that get addicted to the work and just get reading after reading or session after session after session. And it's this spiraling. And I just wonder what you think about that.
So I believe the same. I think that a healer is simply somebody that, well, not simply, because this is not a simple thing, but it is in its essence somebody that shows the other person how to heal themselves, and that might be silent. It might not be words involved, but I do think that there is reciprocation because I mean, I know that like I've had lots of healing sessions, and there's been times where I've had like profound experiences, and I've also had times where like I felt nothing or nothing happened. And more of those, I guess, at the beginning of my journey when maybe I wasn't actually open to it. Not because I wasn't open to healing, but I wasn't maybe open to somebody else kind of like, doing that. Like, especially things where you feel kind of vulnerable when you're like, laying down and I'm much better with it now. And that's why I get more out of it now. But I do feel like if you aren't, like, if your soul isn't ready for it, then maybe it won't happen, and it doesn't matter if somebody is a amazing healer. Like I don't know if it's possible to heal someone without their participation.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason I brought this up is because healing is so related to
Yeah,
Virgo. And so if
yeah,
we're going into Virgo season and if we're walking into these, the eclipse energy and the North Node, South Node energy being probably more prominent, transmutation energy, Phoenix energy, then is it an opportunity to educate yourself or experience healing at all levels, all capacities? Like maybe go see a healer, but also learn how you feel in that energy, and is this an energy that you can maybe activate or have access to on your own and become, the sovereign virgin healer from the
yeah,
inside out.
yeah, yeah.
And just question everything and
Right.
investigate what is best for you.
And it goes to the archetype of the martyr as well, which is like one of the more shadowy sides of Virgo, where that beautiful healing energy gets turned out onto other people who maybe aren't open to it or aren't participating in it in the way that we would like sometimes. And so then it becomes like a pouring out of your like healing energy to people that aren't receiving it, aren't doing the work themselves. So it's almost like a waste of your precious energy. And I know that a lot of people, me included, have had kind of relationships in the past like that, where we want to help them, we want to save them, we kind of, the fixing kind of energy. And actually that is a desire to heal ourselves that's just been turned out. So I feel like Virgo again comes back to this theme of how can I be, whole unto myself and not need to heal somebody else, or to feel like I'm healing somebody else, to turn that energy onto myself and to realize that it's all in you.
Yes. Yeah. It's moving. We're all, let's practice moving from the good girl energy to the sovereign woman energy.
Right. And I feel like that's why it's really important to talk about these archetypes in the kind of more feminine lens, where we're like, okay, Virgo is always talked about as the virgin, but she's also the wise woman, like the wise woman who is not, she's not a virginal kind of like little girl. Like she does magic. She knows all of the herbal traits, or the qualities of medicine. She knows like to how to speak to animals, how to grow things, how to heat, So I think that sometimes we can like infantilize, like, is that the word? Like some of the signs, and Virgo is one that gets that a lot, especially in like some of the aesthetics as well. Like it's always like, oh, Virgo is white, and I'm like, why is Virgo always white? I never wear white. Like I can't keep white clean. I am a hot mess, Virgo. Like,
Yeah, the purity, I guess it's called.
right,
So I have to ask, remember the book you referred to me, my cousin referred to me, you referred to
Mm.
me, is it Cersei?
Cersei. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Did we ever talk about it?
Very relevant. No,
Was
it's
she
very
a
relevant.
Virgo? Is she like Virgo energy?
She's very Virgo energy. I don't know if she was a Virgo. So it's a character from Greek mythology, and she was a wise woman who lived alone on an island. And the book is like a retelling of it, and is very good, like very, very good. You read it already, I
Yeah,
think.
I thought it
Yeah.
was so stupid. Like I did not like it, and my cousin loves it. She said it
Really?
changed her life,
Oh,
and
I
she's read it like
loved
three
it.
times. I think she said I read it and then I listened to it. I don't know why it bugged me, and I want to talk about it, but I
Really?
can't talk about it because I'll ruin the end. But there's people that love it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
like, there's so much here." And I think I do have a little bit of a relationship with Athena. It's just
Mm.
Athena was like kind of like not a great
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, no shade.
Yeah,
Just
no,
not
I
my
know. Well, and
like,
then with the
not my
owl,
first
it's
choice.
like, I
Yeah.
don't know. But I don't know the
Yes.
story. There's just like this she's the warrior. It's like, okay,
Mm.
tracking. She's got this owl, which is the night eagle, the unconscious, the and so there was just a lot of things about I felt martyr energy. I was like, shut
Mm.
up. Like I just like, and it was like, how long is this book? But I want to like talk to you about that. But you guys like, this is so cool to like learn about the different archetypes because in my vision through mediumship, like when our soul leaves our body is whole, but our soul, I don't believe is. I think our soul is like fragmented. And so when we are so attracted to different people of the past or goddesses, like you might have fragments of their energy within you.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think
Absolutely.
that that is like something
Yeah.
that we're having this awakening because these fragments are now coming back to earth to
Mm.
rise again. And so we
Mm.
can, we can dress up and have ceremonies and go play goddess, or we can say, what does a modern goddess do? Like, how do I show up today in modern day time and activate the goddess energy within me to promote change on this earth?
Mm. Right. And I think that we're all drawn to what we need. Like, I mean, quick and dirty version, like when you kind of have a devotional relationship with a deity, you become like that deity, like you do in a romantic relationship. You kind of like swap traits. And that's, I think, why we're drawn to the ones like, why I have this Kali tattoo, because I was a massive good girl people pleaser and I needed to learn how to say no and to access some rage that was very repressed, right? So like I needed something, and that's why she kept coming to me. And so it's interesting that, we talked about like the differences between me and you. And I'm like, oh, I love that book, so dreamy, yummy. And you're like, I fucking hated it. I like Athena, um, which is really interesting as well, considering Athena was born from Zeus's head. So she's all about strategy, right? Which is very king-like. It's like, it's
Well, I remember
very,
Zeus came to me and Zeus was like, "You are my daughter."
yes, yes. Right, right. Whereas I've never, I've never really interacted with Zeus. I've always been like, ah, he's just kind of, he's there. But like you've had like full on like, same as me with Goddess Kali.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think,
it's fascinating. And if you guys want to go back and find, there's an episode. I think it's called like Unicorns and Magic or something like that. But I mean, I wasn't into mythology. These things came to me, and first was a unicorn that wouldn't give me his name, and then a year later he said I'm Adonis. I didn't know what Adonis was. And then later Zeus came and was like, "You are my daughter. You will not find your father in this lifetime." And it was like this big profound thing and pretty much saying like step up and do your job. I'm like, okay, dad. And then somebody was like, you do know that Adonis is a god that he sent to his daughter, I think Athena, to protect her. And so the fact that like the unicorn came first and then Zeus, and now I'm like, I just have a, I have a look. There's something about Athena in this book. This book just felt like a long
ah,
depressed journal entry. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was very interesting.
yeah, right.
Something to
Yeah.
think about. Okay, you guys, we're way over, but this was really
We
great
could
because
talk for days.
we could talk for days. But so these episodes are probably going to be around 30 minutes. We're going to bring it to you, we're going to deliver. But if you fell in love with Ellie, all of her information is going to be in the show notes. Find her on Instagram, follow her, say hi, let us know if you enjoyed this. Please share it on your socials if you think it's a great episode. We're going to come back every single month, give you the information, the energy, the downloads, and probably, a little tea because we got to check in from the season before. And thank you for being here, Ellie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Happy Virgo season, and we shall see who we are on the other side of this huge
Mm,
transmutation.
can't wait. Thank you, love.